Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. Today we are going to talk about the word Islam. I think that's a fundamental word because we're talking about a religion called Islam. And many people say that, well, if you're not a Muslim, you'll not go to heaven. Some people believe that on the day of the resurrection, the angel comes and asks, what is your religion? Who is your God? Who is your prophet? And if you can say, my God is Allah, my prophet is Muhammad, and my religion is Islam, then you get to heaven. But you Christians who are not a Muslim and others, you will not go to heaven because you didn't accept that religion. So that's something we have to talk about because is it what the Quran says? Well, it's true that in the Quran there are at least two texts who tell us you have to become a Muslim if you want to get to heaven. The first one is Al-Baqarah, so the second surah. In verse 280 it said, O you who believe, enter into Islam and do not follow Satan's footsteps, for he is to you an avowed enemy. So that's very clear here. Oh, you want to believe? You have to enter Islam. You have to convert to Islam. Is it what the text says? Well, if you look into the Arabic text, you'll be surprised to see that the word Islam is not in the text. The text uses a word which is similar to Islam, and it's not the same word. This is the word Silm. What does it mean? I don't know, but it's not the word Islam. So you have words that are related. You have Salam, Taslim, Islam, Silm. Salam being peace, Taslim the principle of giving up something. Islam, we're going to talk more about this. And here you have the word Silm. So how are we going to translate that? Well, we could also translate in a different way by saying, oh, you believe, enter into peace. Peace with yourself, with your family, with your neighbor, with God. You see, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to enter a religion called Islam. The next text is in Ali Imran, the third surah, verse 19, where it said, Allah's religion is Islam. Well, you see, Allah's religion is Islam, so there's no discussion on that. But think about first the word religion. Religion in Arabic is the word deen. Deen means something you owe to somebody. In many countries, the currency is the dinar. In Kuwait, in Tunisia, in Serbia, use dinar. And in Spanish, the word for money is dinero. Why? Because money is something the bank owes you. Okay? So the word money and religion is the same word because religion is something you owe to God. And that's why we don't need to translate Allah's religion is Islam, but we could say what you owe to Allah. Our debt toward Allah is what? Islam. And if, of course, if we talk about the debt and not about the religion, why do we have the word Islam here? The answer is that the word Islam has a meaning, and it means surrender. So let's translate what you owe to Allah is not to change religion, which is not in the text, but the principle of submission, of surrendering to God. And I think that makes sense. And that makes sense because in the Quran, Islam is more than just a religion. It is a way of life. It's an attitude. It's an attitude that you find not just in the Quran, but much earlier, especially with a man called Ibrahim or Abraham. I quote here An-Nisa, the fourth surah, An-Nisa, verse 1 and read 25. Who is better in religion? That he who fully surrenders to Allah while doing good and following the state of mind of Abraham or Ibrahim, the upright. And Allah chose Ibrahim for a friend. So the example, the pattern you have to follow is the pattern of Abraham, who did what? He was fully surrendered to God, and he had a specific state of mind, that's the way I translate the word millet, and he was upright, al-Hanif, he was walking against the crowd. This is what we should have as a religion. And many other texts in the Quran speaks about Abraham as the father of the Muslims. Al-Hajj, that is 22nd surah, verse 78, it says, strive for Allah with the endeavor that is right. He has chosen you and has not laid upon you any hardship in religion. The state of mind, the same word here, millet, the state of mind of your father Ibrahim is yours. He has named you Muslims long ago. So here with the same vocabulary in 4:125 and 22:78 related to Abraham as the one we have to follow because he was completely submitted to God. His Lord said to him, surrender. He said, I have surrendered to the Lord of the universe. Rabbi Alamin. That's Al-Baqarah, verse 131. The text continues when he said that Abraham, in verse 132, talked to his sons. And by the way, Abraham had many sons, not just two. And he had more grandchildren. But here, Abraham enjoined upon his sons and one of his grandsons, Jacob. So one of the grandchildren is mentioned here, that's Jacob. And Abraham tell him, Allah has chosen for you the religion. Aha! Which religion should Jacob have? Which religion should the Jews have? According to the Quran, they should be Muslimun, submitted to God. And that's why in the Quran, or according to the Quran, Jews also are submitted to God. They're also Muslims. Abraham was, Jacob was, many people before, long before the Quran came. Now, what about the Christians? There's another text also in Al-Baqarah who says in verse 111, and they say, no one enters paradise unless he's a Jew or a Christian. That is their wishful thinking. Say, bring your proof if you are credible. Yes, whoever surrenders to Allah while doing good will be rewarding by his Lord. No fear will come upon him, and he shall not grieve. Here with the same vocabulary, like in chapter 4, verse 125, applied to Abraham. Whoever surrenders to Allah like Abraham did, no matter if he calls himself a Jew or a Christian, which means that some Christians, some Jews will go to heaven under the condition that they submit to God, not change their religion, but for the principle of being at the service of God, the Almighty, the Lord of the universe. So to call yourself a Jew, Christian, is not the issue. What counts is your attitude of submission to God. But you can be a Jew, you can be a Christian, and you can be a Muslim. Actually, you should be a Muslim. In Surah 29, verse 46, the Quran says, only argue with the people of the book, the Jews and the Christians, most cautiously, except with those who cover the truth, and say, we believe in that has been revealed to you and to us. Alayna wa alaykum wahidun wa nahnu lahu muslimuna. Our God and your God is one, and we are Muslimuna. We are submitted to him. All together, Jews, Christians, all those who follow the way of God, those who give their life to God, who surrender, are Muslimun. And that's why in the Quran, twice the disciples of Jesus are called Muslims. In Ali Imran, verse 52, it is said, when Isa perceived their unbelief, he said, who will be my helpers for Allah? The disciples said, we are Allah's helpers. We believe in him. Bear witness that we are submitted, Muslimun. In Al-Ma'idah, the 5th surah, verse 111, we have a similar text. When I inspired my disciples to believe in me and my messenger, so Jesus is talking here, they said, we believe, bear witness that we are submitted. Again, you have the word here, Muslimun. So twice here, the disciples of Jesus are called submitted, or in the Arabic text, Muslimun. It means that we don't need to fight, you're a Muslim, I'm a Christian. I want to make you a Christian. No, I want you to become a Muslim. No, this is not the level the Quran gives us. The Quran invites us to follow the footsteps of Abraham, the one who was Al-Hanif, going against the crowd, the one who had the state of mind that is pleasing to God, and the one who submitted himself to God in any situation. That's what we need to know, and that's what we need to do, because that's what the Quran says about the word Islam. Next time we're going to talk about what Islam in the Bible means. Is there something in the Bible like Islam? The answer is yes. So follow me, and next time we'll talk about it. Thank you so much, and again, peace be upon you. Assalamu alaikum.